you know how it goes. You know, you don't remember everything clearly, but this is how I remember it. You know, and I got the most of the police reports to prove it. You know, so
PJ, where'd you grow up?
in Philadelphia, just outside, you know, the main line of Philadelphia. You know,
What was your childhood like?
it was, well, like I said, my mom, she had cancer when I was born. You know, before I was born, so she knew she was gonna die before I was ever going to be, you know, raised. And I had 7 other brothers and sisters. You know, they all went to college. They all never been arrested, never did drugs or anything like that. You know, and then so they just let me be myself, just do whatever I wanted to do. And I think they all had to go to church on Sunday. You know, and I remember the first memory I have really is I got to stay home from church. You know, so. My mom went shopping the night before, and she bought, you know, there's 8 ice cream sandwiches, you know, so she had to get someone an ice cream sandwich. Well, as soon as the station wagon was up top of the hill, I pushed a chair in front of the freezer, took them out, ate all of them, you know, put them in the bottom of the trash can. I'm like, oh, I'm cool, you know. My brother comes home, you know, and the first thing he does, he's like, you motherfucker. He starts beating me up, and I'm like, what the hell? How the hell did he know, you know? So my dad pulls me out, and he's like, look, champ, he's like, you got to be a criminal. You got to cover your tracks. Look in the mirror. I had a fucking big old chocolate ring around, you know. So, you know, that's stuff like that, you know. Just I was always just do whatever I had to do, you know. But, yeah, that's about it, you know.
So you think it's in your DNA just to be looking for trouble?
I think so. You know, my dad was kind of a...
It didn't help not having a mom.
Yeah, well, he died like a few months after that.
Your dad did too.
Yeah, he was murdered by Nicky Scarfo.
So your dad was in the mob?
He was in the Irish mob, and they were having problems with I think the airport or something like that. I don't know the whole story, but he was stabbed in the neck with a pen, and Nicky Scarfo ended up going to prison for 6 months or something like that over it. You know, and I found out that he's the one who killed him, but that was way later down the road. And because when my mom died and my dad died, the Italians took me in, you know, put me to work, let me live above a bar and stuff like that with my girlfriend Mary, you know, and you know, and then the Irish came to me and were like, hey, what the fuck? You know, you're kind of disrespecting your dad, you know? And the very next day, his son got murdered. And, you know, I had nothing to do with it. I never killed anyone in my life, you know, but everybody thought I did, you know? It's a revenge thing, but it was just, they know who did it. They know I didn't do it, but...
But you were young at the time, right?
No, when I found out, I was probably 20.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but you know.
But what were your teen years like?
Well, like you said, I was the first night I was on the street. I had nowhere to go. Before this, I was living on the railroad tracks, and I met Mary. She was a 17-year-old, you know, prostitute. You know, her dad raped her and everything else, and so she was messed up in the head too, you know. And I said I was 12, and you know, she took me back. She gave me a shot of heroin and cocaine, you know, first drug, and then she took my virginity, you know. Didn't have hair down there, you know. I tried telling her I was 16, you know, and she was like, "Oh, you shave, you freak," you know. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" You know, it's back then people didn't shave down there, you know, but I just didn't have any, you know, and we ended up I got her pregnant, you know. We had 2 kids, so it was rough, you know. I did stuff for the mob, you know, like running little errands and stuff like that.
So
and
you were a father by the time you were 12, 13?
Huh?
You were a father by the time you were 12 or 13?
Yeah. Yeah, 14, I had 2 kids, you know. Yeah, and I never lied to them. Not anything. I told them about my heroin use, you know. Never told them about to Santa Claus. I didn't believe, you know. I figure that's how kids start, you know, like their parents are lying to them. It's, you know, right in the beginning, you know, you find out there's no Santa Claus. You go, what else are you lying about? You know, is Jesus not right? You know, whatever, you know. So I never lied anything, you know. Everything was straight with him, you know. And I told him, you know, and I had to admit to him that I loved heroin more than them, you know. And even though I killed their mother, you know, but, you know, it was the truth, you know. And it's hard, it's still hard to admit that, you know. It's rough. But, you know, they deserve the truth, you know.
So the girl's name was Mary that you...
Yeah, the mother of my kids, yeah. Mary Majoli.
How long were you with her?
Till the girls were 3, so, you know, 4 years, you know. It was, you know, if we would have went the whole distance, I'm sure we would have hated each other, you know, but, you know, she was the perfect girl, you know, because she, you know, but I look back, I mean, she ruined my life, you know, with the heroin, you know, but I never, you know, I probably could have been a decent person if it wasn't for the heroin, you know, but it is what it is, you know.
Where'd your life go from there?
You know, I said, something came up, and I couldn't take care of the girls anymore. You know, they were teenagers. You know, they hated me. You know, you were both. I was a kid. You know, and I didn't know how to raise a teenage girl. You know, so God bless my sister, Mimi. She took them in. You know, and raised them as her own. And so I feel like I wasn't wanted, so I just took off. You know, so that's when I started robbing banks and armored cars and stuff like that. You know. And did that for 17 years before I finally got caught, you know. I had some big scores, you know. I had one in Louisiana. You had like $750,000, you know.
You got $750,000 in a bank robbery?
Yeah.
What kind of bank holds on to that much money?
What happened was that it was during Christmas time, and I thought it was a good idea to, you know, go in there and get the bank manager the night before. And we go in there and there's nobody there, open up the safe, and I'd be gone before anybody found out, but it doesn't work like that, you know. There's a time lock on the safe and everything like that, and so I'm, you know, the employees are coming in, and I'm just like, I'm panicking, you know, so I duct taped them up, a few of them, you know, tied the rest up, and you know, when the time lock went, I went, and I couldn't carry more than $750,000. It's a lot. It's a lot. And by this time, people are knocking on the door trying to get in, you know. So what I did is, I was like, I'm sorry, there's a plumbing emergency, you know. We'll be opening up in about 5 minutes, you know. So finally, when I got the money, I walked out, I locked the door, and I was like, you know, 15 minutes are going to clean up, they'll be opening up. And I drove away, you know. I got away with that one for, how long? About 7 years.
You got away with it for 7 years?
Yeah. They finally caught me, and there's no statute of limitations on kidnapping, so this is all a lie, but, you know. But I finally got caught. It was in Jefferson Parish, and nobody could pick me up out of the lineup, you know, and all they had was my thumbprint. So I was there for about 6 months until they kicked me loose.
You get to spend the money?
Yeah. I rented one of Ted Turner's cabins out in Idaho. I don't know if it's not a cabin, it's a mansion, you know. And I'm thinking it was $10,000 a month, you know. No, it was $10,000 a week. You know, it had servants and everything else. But 6 months I was broke, you know. There's a helicopter pilot that lives right down there, and he would fly me to Vegas back and forth, you know, pick up hookers and, you know, dope, and it was at a grand time, you know. And then, when I left, there was probably about at least 30 hookers that stayed behind, you know. And I took a Barry Bonds jersey off the wall, you know.
When they came to arrest you?
Huh?
When they came to arrest you?
They didn't come arrest me there.
You just took off?
Yeah, I ran out of money.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they wanted rent, you know. So after that, I went and I did another job or something. Every 3 months I would move. You know, I'd get a job lined up, do the job, move 3 states away. You know, and that's how I was able to evade capture for so long. You know, and then.
And the drug use was a part of this whole process?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. And I was really, when you're doing stuff like that, you're trying to die. I was hoping for, a police shootout just to, get killed and one of the, but it never happened.
I've never heard an addict say that before. You think that's what is behind the self-destructive behavior?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the heroin use and everything. It's a slow form of suicide.
Because everybody knows that fentanyl is life-threatening.
Same thing, it's the same thing, and
Makes sense.
yeah, but but you still do it and you still love it. You think you love it, and then, yeah, I finally got caught. Was I was working for Jesse James, for a little bit, but
Motorcycles?
yeah, because so to backstep a little bit, my second girlfriend, Annie O, she was in porn, with his first wife, and they did not like each other, So we were waiting in line it was either Rainbow, trying to get in, and him and his wife walked right in, and my girl Annie and her had words, and Annie went after her, and so I tried to break it up, and then Jesse hit me, and and then that was it, and then 2 years later, I was living in Long Beach, and he ran into me, and he was like, "Man, what happened to you? You look like shit," I was all strung out on heroin, dope sick, and he gave me $200, He's like, "Go clean up, come down the shop." So I did, and he's like, "Get off the drugs, and I'll give you a job." So that's what I did. I cleaned up, and he gave me a job. It was going good for 2-3 years, and then I fucked it off, got strung out again, and fucked off, not showing up and stealing shit, and he had to fire me.
The drug use
Yeah,
got back into the picture?
Yeah, so yeah, that's what he did. He fired me, and then so I started doing what I knew again. Started robbing banks and armored cars again, in Long Beach, Seal Beach, just all over Southern California.
But typically in bank robberies, you don't get much money.
No, you get $5,000, 5 to 40 if you're lucky. In California, you're only getting 5. So it's nothing. But in the armored cars, the first one I did, I didn't get anything, and but then I learned the mistakes, and you get a good chunk out of them sometimes, Then so the one in Nevada, God, that was a clusterfuck. That was bad. I don't think I'm ready to tell that one yet, but that's the one where Annie died, Yeah, that's a rough one. She, oh my God.
It was a bank robbery?
It was an armored car robbery, and I never wanted her to do it, And she just talked to me, letting her go. So I let her drive, and it just went bad. And it went bad from the very beginning, and oh fuck. They ended up getting behind us, and we were going over a bridge, and it was fucking, it was the fucking tanks, but just blocking it, dude. And they came up on it, blocked us, and they didn't say shit, man.
The police?
Yeah, they just fucking opened up, and the first round took her head right off, And she I looked down. I was like, what the fuck? You have to get underneath the seat, But it was just her head, and her body was still there. So I just wanted to get the fuck out of there because it was just, I thought this shit was disgusting, So I opened the door and I jumped out. And I thought I jumped right out the bridge. They say I like ran and jumped. And well, anyway, so I jumped off the bridge and there's two guys down there on motorcycles because it was drizzling or something. And I threw him the bank. I threw the one guy my gun. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, you know. And I got away. He fucking. Yeah, they on me right away, you know. There was another police chase, and I was able to get in the airport. Fuck, I'm sorry. Oh, it's been a long time since I talked about that. But, yeah, I go back to the airport, and you know where the rental cars are and stuff. There's the pillars, and I did about $1.80 through that motherfucker, you know, bouncing off a car, and you know, and I seen a dude up there, and he was putting shit in the trunk of a car, and he just jumped good and ghost rode the bike, you know, so he got away from where I was at, and I told him to get in the fucking trunk, dude, you know. I took his wallet and his plane ticket, and he looked enough like me, and he lived up on Signal Hill. You know, I still see him like once in a while, you know. And I gave him a bunch of money, and I was like, listen, you know, you're going to spend that money, you're going to, you know, shut the fuck up, you're going to stay in here for about a half hour and then go out and do whatever you got to do, you know. And you got to drop your wallet off at your house, you know. And sure shit he did, you know. And I went and dropped the money, you know.
So can you explain that? Can you explain that again? So you came up to a guy at a rental car.
Yeah, he was rental car. He's in the back of the rental car, and I told him, I was like, get in the fucking trunk, you know.
You had a gun?
Huh?
You had a gun or what?
Yeah. Well, I did the pistol, the shotgun I gave to the guy that gave the motorcycle, and I don't get in the fucking trunk, you know. And I was like, fucking, if you want to spend it, I gave him all the money. I gave him probably $60,000 or something like that. And I said, you know, spend that money, you know, you just got to shut the fuck up, stay in here for about a half hour. And, you know, you get out, you got to talk to the police, whatever you got to do, you know. And by that time, I'd be in Long Beach and home, you know, or, you know, wherever. So, and that's what I did, and he did. And I was able to use his ticket and his ID to get on the plane, you know, and fly to Long Beach. And I dropped his wallet off up at Signal Hill and fucking... You know, and he never went to the cops or anything. You know, but I got caught for that one. You know, they charged me fucking murder during the commission of robbery for murder. You know, even though they're the ones that did it. You know, but I guess they were saying that if I'd never, you know, committed that robbery, that, you know, she would have never been in there, and you know. They were going on the assumption that I kidnapped her, but it wasn't even me. It was Annie and some other guys, you know, took my car. You know, I reported it stolen and everything because that's all they had. They had my DNA in the car, you know. But it was my car, you know. Of course, my DNA's in there, but you know, and I had some bullet wounds in my leg that said matched up. But it could have been anything, you know, and. Yeah, that's fucking rough, man. I don't like that one. That was fucking hot. You still see her, baby? And, fuck it, I'm sorry. And, yeah, so I beat that one. I beat the one in Louisiana.
You did?
Yeah, I beat all these
How much time have you done?
I ended up doing 12 years.
That's not a lot for the life you lived.
No. I deserve to do a lot more, you know. But yeah, so when I finally got caught, you know, there was an armored car and there was a shooting, you know. And once they start shooting on the street, they got to get you off the street. You can't be on the street no more, and you're shooting guns around. So big task force against me, you know. And I was on the news every night on Fox, you know, fucking Tapper Bandit, you know, fucking, you know. So Jesse James guy I used to work for, fucking, he called in and fucking collected $10,000 reward. And so what happened was, so when we finally got caught, we just robbed an armored car, and And I had the bank bag and the shotgun, and Rob was gonna go get some dope and some whatever, beer and cigarettes. So I go up to the stairs to the room, and I put the key card in, and it's like red, green, red, green, red, green. I'm like, what the fuck? I look down at Rob, and I try it one more time. It's like green, bam, opens up. And there's just fucking FBI agents, DEA, fucking Homeland Security, Long Beach. I mean, there was just everybody was in there. And they just pulled up a block gun, boom, and hit me right in the chest from like 4 feet away, So I dropped the bank bag, the shotgun, and I go over the railing.
You hit with what? Got hit with what?
A block gun. It's a piece of wood. It gets shot out of a shotgun.
So not to kill you.
Yeah, less than lethal, but fucking almost killed me, man.
But there was a Hell's Angel you were with?
Yeah. Yeah, Rob. And he was in the car. He seen the whole thing. He see me go over the railing. I landed on the car down in the parking lot. And I can't breathe, He said, get in the car, get in the car. So, I get in the car, and he had 7 prior strikes. Like I said, I always wanted to die anyway. I was trying to die. So, we always agreed. Cops come, we're shooting it out, So I get in, and he's like, shoot, motherfucker, shoot. So I reach for the gun, and the gun's not there. I got caught on the railing under there, And it was just like, what the fuck, So, they surrounded us, they got us out. Guns are our heads, fucking, just fucking move, Rafferty, just be your fucking piece of shit, And then I hear Rob fighting with him, And I was like, my tattoos, you can't see it anymore, you just say, oh no,
On your hands?
Yeah, so, but, and then I was like, man, God, it's not that serious, And, yeah, I changed my tune about wanting to die. I mean, they had 3 guns pointing at your head, But, so anyway, yeah, fucking, then they got us, and then fucking, since he, Jesse, being a rat, the Hells Angels ruined his life for, they told Bob Shelmagee to say, fucking, that he was messing around with her. He never messed around with that girl, It was all made up to ruin his career, his marriage to Sandra Bullock and everything, and that's what that was all about. And he ended up, I'm not sure about this, but I think he paid Rob like $50,000 a year every year he's in prison, and I never got anything because I was in a Hell's Angel or anything, but since he was affiliated, he was able to get paid, but yeah, they ruined that poor guy's career, that's all because of me, There's another fucking dude I ruined, He did it himself with snitching. He should have he didn't need that $10,000. Come on, man, But, yeah. That was a heroin. That's just one of many, Yeah, but I got a lot of fucked up shit in my head, I gotta live with, And and I was a dirtball a lot of times, because when you live in this life, you gotta use people, it's not fun, it's not, you meet a lot of nice people and you just gotta fuck them over, you just gotta leave,
Is that the drugs?
Because I'm wanting to get arrested, they say, it's the drug. Pretty much it all comes down to the drugs.
If the drugs weren't in the picture, you wouldn't be behaving like that.
Right, yeah, But, like I said, 3 months you got to go, The FBI's on you, you can feel them,
You think if your mom hadn't passed away so early and your dad hadn't gone to prison, or your dad got murdered,
yeah.
Your life might have looked differently?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it would have.
Yeah, I mean, look at all my brothers and sisters, They've never even got a traffic ticket, They all went to college, they all fucking went to Villanova.
It's a dumb question to ask if you're the black sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, you say that, I haven't talked to him in probably 20 years, But, I mean, I talked to him, but I haven't seen him. I mean, I was trying to get money, you have to go back, but he just fuck it off,
Do you see your daughters?
No, talk to him every day, not every day, but, at least twice a week, but, Yeah, they love me as a dad. You know, it's just I don't know. I don't know. Fuck, man. Yeah, it would have been great to have been a normal person, you know. But
So today you're on the streets?
yeah. I was doing good for a while when I got out of prison, and then a buddy of mine, fucking Steve Ramos, you know, it was funny. I met him. We were in prison together, you know, and there was gonna be a big riot the next day, you know, and fucking because the whites owed a bunch of money on the yard, and well, Steve was going home, you know, so he was not gonna be a part of it. So, but he's like, listen, man. I said, I'll go and I'll take my gate money and I'll buy some tobacco and cell phones and I'll throw them over the fence to you. I'm like, Steve, you're fucking homeless. You got $200. You're gonna spend it. You know, just shut the fuck up. Go home and forget about us. You know. Well, fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, my cell phone rings. You know, I had a prison and I had a cell phone in prison, and fucking it was Steve. He said, "Come to the fence." I was like, "What?" He said, "Come to the fucking fence. Hurry up, man." I go out there and he made 3 footballs. 3 pounds of tobacco in each one and 3 cell phones. He fucking threw them over the fence to me, and fucking I snuck back to my dorm and fucking sold it off, and no riot. Fucking we were the heroes. So I was able to. I sold everything, and I still had $1,500, and I sent it to Steve so he could get home. He stayed the whole day, fucking just up in San Luis Obispo, instead of coming back home to Orange County, just to do that for us, and so that night. I get another call from Steve, and he's like, "Hey, come to the fence." I'm like, "What the fuck? You still haven't gone home?" He's like, "No." Yeah, so they sent me 3 10 footballs over. With the $1,500, he spent all of it on tobacco and cell phones and threw it over me. And I sold it, and then, and every month after that, he'd come up once a month and throw over the tobacco and cell phones, So after a while, in every prison I've been to, I got kicked out of. Fucking just because I do too much, fucking. And, so, they knew it was me, but they couldn't find out how we were doing it, or, they couldn't find it because I was also the carpenter, so I had stash spots all over the fucking prison, and, it was like a fucking Hogan Heroes or something, I had fun in prison, I had to say, but, so anyway, so when I finally got out, I looked him up, and, he was locked up. But I went to fire camp the last 4 years. I went to fire camp and with the tobacco and cell phones, and later on heroin. I paroled with like 40,000, So I was doing good, and so I went to go check up on his mom. He's like, "Just check up on my mom, And God bless her, she's crazy as fuck, And so I went and checked on her, and she was doing bad, There's just no food, dirty dishes, and just the house was a mess. So I've talked to her on the phone before, and she was like, "Oh my God, please take care of me, fucking, I was like, fuck, So I started taking care of her, and, but it ended up was her house was just, they were getting foreclosed on her house and everything. So, I gave up my apartment, my car, everything, and took all the money out of my bank account, got our mortgage back up to, par and stuff like that. And Steve ended up getting out, and then it was Nickelodeon was trying to buy their house at Bill. I don't know if you know where Orange County, but where the Sheraton is, they were trying to make that a Nickelodeon resort, and that's part of her property, So it was a big clusterfuck. But anyway, so they ended up screwing it. But that's when I found out she had money in the bank. She conned me out of all that money, and she still had money in the bank. So I went broke and started doing crime again, And then a lot smaller. I'm not doing any more violent crimes anymore.
What is your drug now? Fentanyl?
Yeah, unfortunately. I'd rather be heroin, but I can't find it. You just can't find it anymore. Right. It's just fentanyl, God, I wish I could get off that shit,
What's your biggest regret?
The drugs, the biggest, I had too many, I really do. I got a lot, Probably not being able to be honest with people all the time, It sucks because I've met a lot of good people, and I screwed up pretty much all of them, And it sucks, man. Fuck. I used to be spending more time with my kids, I don't know. Too many to think about, Fuck, man. Yeah.
You can't really blame yourself too much because you really didn't have parents to guide you or raise you.
Yeah, but I made my own decision, You gotta. At 12 years old, you're an adult. You know what the fuck you're doing,
At 12?
Yeah. Right?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I did. I knew what I was doing was right and wrong. I know I should have gotten a job, and
you had to grow fast.
Yeah. And I said, I guess when you're pushing that situation, kids do it all the time. You look back in the day, kids did that shit. Kids were going off to war whenever, 12, 13, fuck, But, nowadays, these kids, Jesus Christ, I don't even want to get into that. Fucking, identify as a fucking what? A cow that got raped by a horse? I don't know. What the fuck is... What is wrong with these kids, man? But thank God my kids aren't like that. But yeah, and that's what I remember. In Laura, she's my oldest. She when I was in prison, she was like, yeah, I gotta get book published, And I'm like, what? And I'm like, right on. She's like, yeah. She's like, it's a coloring book. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's cool, I guess, And she's like, yeah, it's for adults. I'm like, what? I was like, you fucking idiot. So who the fuck's going to buy a coloring book for adults? Fuck, that thing took off, man. She made so much fucking money selling that thing. I was like, fuck, what do I know, You're going to believe that shit, man.
Your daughter's clever.
Yeah. She started these matte paintings for Disney where she paints on glass, And so when they do the amateurs or whatever it is in the movies and stuff like that, where they don't have to draw the scenery every time. They can just draw on like a piece of glass or whatever. And I guess I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's like painted on the backside or something. That's how I imagine it. Or something. I mean, you might know about that, but I don't know.
It sounds like her dad has a book or a movie in his.
Huh?
It sounds like you got a book in you as well.
Yeah. But like I said, I dropped out in 7th grade, so I'm not the brightest guy in the world,
What's your biggest fear now?
None.
You've been through everything.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned?
None. Really, I haven't had any consequences, No, everything I've done, 12 years isn't shit, I've heard a lot of people, and I've had no consequences. It's just not right,
All right, PJ. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry I cried like a little baby.
It's all right. I wish you a lot of luck from here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.